you have figured out this real estate game. You're doing something amazing. You're trying to show people how to generate wealth.
Right.
Tell us about the properties and investing and why people should do this.
And before we do that, I just want to say, I always try to make money off of something. So the cars, I have 16 cars, right? Think about it like this, and this is going to stick in your head. When I did the car show in New Jersey, we had 7,000 people. If it wasn't for COVID, we had one booked in Houston, Detroit, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey. We had 4 coming down the pipeline. 10,000 a pop. You do the math, you know how much it costs to get in? Plus sponsors, Lincoln Tech, Pepsi, Sephora, every car show. So now the cars that I love purchasing and
so what you say is you don't get high on your own supply. You turn your habits into profit.
Correct. Correct.
I got to put the fire signs here. I've never done that my whole show. I got to do this for a second because people need to learn about that shit. You turn something you learn into something you love into profit.
Right. Not only that.
So you say Fat Joe loves sneakers. He's a sneaker collector. He opened 2 stores, turned it into profit.
Correct. Now, one thing, I love you artists, but I hate y'all. Y'all are the moodiest people. So it's like, if I call Fat Joe and say, yo, Joe, I need you at a club or a performance. It's a situation. Envy. I need this. I need a green room. I need this food. I need flowers and the luxurious pineapples that only come from Puerto Rico. That's what you're going to ask me for, right? 50 Cent. I need this. I need that. Cardi. I need this. I need that. Now I go, Joe, I don't want you. I just want your car for one day. I'm not promoting you. I'm promoting your car. 5th, I just need 1 car. Cardi, let me borrow that car for one day. Offset, can I have that car? Lil baby, can I have that car? Now I got your cars. I don't need y'all there. I sell out just having the cars.
Now that's brilliant.
Because you're going to, as an artist, you're going to be like, I'd rather give Envy my car for a day than have to go to his club.
See, I'm a little bit different than them. I show up at your club.
Yeah, you do. You do. You
know, Joe Crack, man. I love DJ.
No.
I show up.
Crack goes to every club, every party, every situation. Yeah, no, you definitely do.
Now, and you never got to tell us about the houses, which is really important.
So what I started doing is when I got my first check, my first big check in the music industry, I bought a crib, right? And my first check came from DJ Clue. Gave me a $75,000 check. That was the sign to Desert Storm. So when most people were going buying cars and jewelry, I went and bought a crib. Now,
1 second, they keep telling me to stop stopping you, but you know, whenever I stop somebody, it's because I get a thing. Who is Fabulous signed to? Is he signed to DJ Clue and you?
No, he signed Clue, Duro, and Skane is Desert Storm. I was just
Clue, Duro, and Skane
is
Desert Storm. So he was signed to them.
He signed to them.
Okay.
Signed to them. When he popped, Clue created his own label at Sony and signed me, Fab's brother, Paul Kane, and an R&B artist, signed us 3. I put out my first album through them. I think I did 65,000 the first week. And back then, I did a flop though back then. 60,000 first week, flop. But, and he put my album, I got my first check. The first house that I was able to buy was like an hour from New York City. Because that's all I could afford. But when I used to do the clubs at night, I used to fall asleep on the way home. I had to pull over, take naps. So we sold that crib. So after living in that house for 4 months, I think I bought the crib for like $400. When I moved, after like 4 to 6 months, I made $100,000. And I was like, just like that. I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to get into. And then I started getting into the housing game. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I would buy a house, move in it, live in it, sell it. Buy another house, move in it, sell it. But I was making so much money. And I was like, this is better than music. I ain't got a DJ. I ain't got to deal with artists. I ain't got to go with 100 people in the club and one of my dudes get into a fight and it's always on you. And I started doing that. Then the market fell. When the market fell, I had about 4 or 5 houses. And the market was really like messed up. So I did everything not to have to sell those houses. I would DJ bar mitzvahs. I would DJ bodegas, whatever I had to do to make sure I could hold all of my houses. I did that, and then I sold all them houses, and I was like, never again.
I lost $5 million in the recession on houses.
See?
On homes alone, Jersey, Miami, all that. That shit, that recession shit. We was just me and my wife was just talking about that shit. Like, yo, that recession shit was, and it ain't even our fault.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know a recession was coming. They always told me, yo, invest in properties. And I lost so much. And so how do you get into the situation you got now? I see you doing seminars. Mm-hmm. I see you like, Joe, I just bought a school.
Yeah.
I'm flipping into like, you guys are doing some things out there. You and homeboy Caesar.
Yeah. So I got into housing crazy. Angela Yee used to come to Detroit. She has a boyfriend in Detroit. So she would fly to Detroit a lot. So when she came back, she was like, yo, these houses in Detroit are so cheap. They're like $10,000, $15,000. I'm going to buy a couple of them. When she said that, I was like, you know what? Let me go to Detroit. I went to Detroit, and I'm looking at the houses, and they were bigger than the houses I had in Queens. Like huge, and selling for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So I bought like 3, right? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to buy them. I bought them. Instead of buying jewelry, sneakers, bottles, flying private jet, I bought these 3 houses. After about 6 months, the prices started rising and rising and rising. Now, these properties I paid $15,000 to $20,000 for was worth like $200,000 each. Not fixed up, not touched. They're still beat up, disgusting. It's just a great block. So I just started, trying to find out how to do it. And I wound up selling those properties. I made like, I would say maybe $2.25 off of each house. I started saying, all right, I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna do this in Jersey. This kid named Caesar called me. Yo, I'm Caesar. I do houses. And at the time, everybody was calling me. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. He was like, no, I really do this. I have this amount of properties. He was like, come to my office. So I go to his office. My wife, me, and him. He's telling us all this. He was like, you know what? Let me show you. Let me take you around. So I'm like, all right. He's like, no, come in my truck. I'm like, nah, B, I don't know you. I'll follow you. He was like, no, come in my truck because I got to explain. So my wife is like, nah, we're not going in this truck. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to go. So we go in his truck and he started showing me all the properties he owned and how he did it, what he paid for them, and taking me inside, and he knew his shit. So I was like, you know what? This is something that I'm going to fuck with. And I just started doing it with him, and he showed me how to do it, and we just started buying properties. He started teaching me how to do properties, and the rest is history. We started doing seminars because there was so many people that looked like us that were doing these seminars and charging people like 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. They would do these seminars and have credit card people outside the seminars to give people loans. And I'm saying, yo, if you got 10,000 to give to a guy for a seminar, you can use that 10,000 and buy a property. So let me teach you how to do it. I'm going to bring everybody to you, the credit guide, the mortgage guide. I'm going to bring hard money lenders, attorneys. I'm going to bring them all to you. And we're going to break down how to work it. So that 10,000, you ain't got to spend no more. And I did it just to help people, just to piss those people off. And it started with like 20,
and you charge for the seminar, but
yep,
way lower price?
$99. Now people say, well, why do you charge? Because I had
no, man, you got to charge something. Motherfucker got to eat.
Right, that. You got to pay for the speakers. And I was like, we didn't care. We was just trying to help people. And it grew from 20 to 50 people to 100 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 people at this seminars, where it just got ridiculous and it became a business. So now not only are we flipping houses and getting tenants and all this other stuff, we also have this business of webinars. Then we started getting offers from TV. And the offers from TV would come in and about, can we do a show? And then book deals started coming in. This is just all based off of real estate. So during the pandemic, that's what we were doing. While everybody I couldn't DJ, wrote a book. I couldn't DJ, we filmed our own show. I couldn't DJ, but we were still doing webinars online and teaching people how to do it.
Yeah, Envy, we similar. God bless.
I'm Prophet Muscle, the only man in the world who can do handstand push-ups with his fist on concrete.
I got trained by Roger Mayweather, Crazy Temple next.
He knocked him out in the street, KSI.
I'm the son of Roger Mayweather.
Roger, tell these motherfuckers subscribe to the Prophet channel.
Prophet Muscle.
Yeah.